friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be using the new Mossy Castle house skin in my Dazzle Beach. This is technically a part 1 of my Dazzle Beach series since I will later make a more complete speed build with a more pirate theme, but this is just a small build that will tie into the bigger picture later down in the line. If you would like to see how this turned out, then definitely keep on watching. I'm going to put the castle in this grassy patch over here at Dazzle Beach and just start framing it with some trees. I start with the tallest ones, which are the swamp trees, and then add some wild tangle trees since they match the mossy and overgrown vibe. Just keep in mind that I do try to leave a bit of a gap behind there so I can reach my rock nodes. I added these Fountain of Youth items, and they're premium shop items which I barely got the other day, and some of these lighthouses because they kind of match with the roof and the growing ivy. I use these items to frame the castle, and then I add a ton of beach grass. I like to use the grass since it can easily clip into the items and it gives that overgrown effect. If you don't have much of an item limit space, then I wouldn't use too much, but here you can see I use it quite generously. I use that green patch over there to my advantage, and I just place my well there with some grass, and I also use the Neverland well skin. The goal is to just cover the hard edges with this grass and blend it all together. I am now going to begin making a moat with the Neverland River kit, and first just worrying about the shape before adding any of the end pieces. My favorite thing to do now with this Neverland River kit is to just make an outline with the bigger pieces first before adding some smaller pieces to create a more curve-like effect. We won't add any of the edge pieces to the inner area because that will be masked with beach grass, but I will later add borders and edges to the outer layer. Also, a pro tip, try to exit furniture mode often and save, especially with these water pieces because I always end up losing my progress whenever I exit furniture mode, so just to save you the crash out, save your game often. I am just finishing up the moat and masking the rough edges with the grass, and it kind of looks noticeable from the aerial view, but don't worry because it looks more blended when you're actually walking around the build. I'm starting my edge pieces here, and to be honest, it was kind of a struggle. I would say that I wasn't exactly married to the placement of all of these pieces because I end up making some adjustments so that I can fit the edge pieces in more nicely. I will say that the left side took a lot more puzzle work, whereas I had no trouble putting the edge pieces on the right side. You can, of course, make the outline with the edge pieces first before adding the main body if that is what is easier for you, but I was trying to go for a more curvy, thick moat, and so I did the body pieces first. may not look like it, but that edge piece all the way over there kind of allows you to slip through it to reach those rock nodes, so that way it is more accessible. I'm taking the middle parts and just adding some wooden planks for a bridge, and then I use this blue pathing underneath it to blend with the water as best as I can. I add in some reeds, and you can use any kind. I believe these are the peaceful meadow reeds, and then I swap out some of the smaller squares for the ones that have the lily pads in it, just to give the water a little bit more texture. By the castle, I used cobblestone, and again I am using it generously because my item limit is a future problem for me, but you can use way less or swap it out for some stone pathing. I combine it with this Forgotten Land stones just for more texture. Where the well is, I add some of these stones, and I decide to add one on the right side as well for the symmetry. I add in the seaside fountain, and I use the grass to make it look overgrown. I emulate the same path style I did up there with the stones in a circle, and then I use some of these mossy fences, which you can craft if you have Storybook Veil. I think just getting as many mossy items in this build is key here, because you know it's a mossy castle and I just kind of want everything to look cohesive. In the other circle, I add some pirate furniture, and that's because I'm going to make a future video completing my Dazzle Beach in a pirate theme, so this is really just a precursor to that build. Now I use these bubbles to make more floating candles, and so it kind of just makes it look enchanting along with abandoned, and for that effect I will also add in some fireflies. For lighting, it's pretty minimal. I use these ancient landing lamps because it kind of matches the overall theme we are going for here. Then I use some of the normal wrought iron lights in the back, and I kind of camouflage it in there for a bit of a glow. All around the build, I start to add in some barrels of all kinds. You can craft upright, broken, sideways, and that will later tie into the pirate build. I added some stone pathing with the borders to add a little more texture, and that's actually a pretty good hack if you want to add more stones without adding any more to your item limit. Now it's mostly just finishing touches from here. I added in a few sunlit palm trees and just some more beach grass, and then I even added some of those pirate boats and even Prince Eric's ship off to the side. I will also then just add a stone path leading to where the peaceful meadow is. Again, this will be in a future build, but I randomly thought that Scar's house kind of fit the vibe here. I don't know if I'm just being delusional, but that's where it's going to be, and it kind of just gives that more like pirate Skull Rock vibe. I thought to add in some statues by the fountain for a bit of a finishing touch, and that is the final build. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. The Mossy Castle is truly remarkable, and it's one of my favorite house skins we've gotten in quite some time. By the time I post this, of course, it should still be up in the premium shop, so hopefully this convinces you to get it before it leaves the store. If you liked the video, feel free to like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!